creating some expressions. They're all going to look something like this, unlike your last assignment, where you're going to start off with some letters or variables in there. You're eventually going to use your order of operations or PEMDAS, but before that you need to substitute whatever values in that they give you. You're going to end up with a number answer. Let's try some together. So this first one that I have written out right here looks like an order of operations problem, except for we've got those letters in there. Anytime that we see a Y, they're telling us they want us to use 6 instead of Y. Anytime that we see a Z, we're going to turn that into a 5. So we need to fill in all of our Y's and Z's with the appropriate numbers. So Y is 6. Everything else that's not Y or Z, signs, numbers, whatever else, stays the same. And then my Z is 5. So from here, we are going to follow our order of operations like we did before. So parentheses, we do have parentheses, we'll start there. Everything else is going to stay the same. -1 plus 5 is 4, but we have a minus sign in front of it, so that's going to end up looking like -4. All we're left with is addition and subtraction. Remember, for addition and subtraction, we do those in the order we see them left to right. So I'm going to start here. -3 plus 6 is 3. And then more addition and subtraction, 3 minus 4 is -1. Once you're simplified down to a number, that's your final answer. When you're doing these on your own, if you wanted to, like for instance, skip from here to here, that would be fine. You can combine some steps if you want to. Let's try some more. There's my new expression. They're telling us this time they want us to use x equals 4 and z equals 1. So we are going to tackle this exactly the same way that we did the last problem. Anytime we see an x, we're going to turn that into a 4. Anytime we see a z, we're going to turn that into a 1. Anything that's not an x or a z is going to stay what it was. So 4 minus 4 divided by 4 stays the same, plus sign stays the same. Go ahead and write in my minus sign there. Z is 1, so z minus z turns into 1 minus 1. From here, it's a matter of order of operations. We don't have any parentheses. We don't have any exponents. Where we're going to start is multiplication and division. Remember, those go in order left to right. So out of multiplication and division, the only one I have is right here in the middle. 4 divided by 4 is 1, but since it had a minus sign in front of it, it's going to look like a -1. And now we just have lots of addition and subtraction. So 4 minus 1 is 3. And you could combine some steps here if you wanted to. I'm going to show you some combining here. 3 plus 1 is 4, minus 1 is 3 for our final answer. Again, when you're working these on your own, if you want to combine them some steps, that's fine. If you want to show every single step, that's okay too. Whatever helps you get the right answer is the most important thing. We'll do a couple more. So here's my new expression. This is how I write Z's, so if that's a little weird to you, sorry. Otherwise they look like Jews. This time we're going to use y equals 6 and z equals 3. So, same thing we've been doing. Every time we see a y, we're going to turn that into a 6. So this right here will become a 6. Every time we see a z, we're going to turn that into a 3. Since these are right next to each other, we haven't talked about this yet. Two variables right next to each other multiply together. So I'm just going to insert a times dot there. Z is 3. And then, I need to do that in black, I'm sorry. Inside of parentheses, we have more z's. There's a minus sign in between them. And then a -2. Now let's use our order of operations. We do have parentheses right here, so let's start there. So all this other stuff stays the same. 3 minus 3 is 0, so this becomes minus 0, and then minus 2. From there, parentheses are done. Now we have exponents. So that exponent is only on the 3. 3 squared is 9. Everything else stays the same. Next up, multiplication and division. 6 times 9 is 54. And then I think we can do all that subtracting at once. 54 minus 0 is 54. Minus 2 gives us 52 for our final answer. One more. This time I'm going to write these up here. We're going to use m equals 1, n equals 6, p equals 2. So we have a little bit more to keep track of this time, but the process is the same. All of our m's are going to turn into 1's, so those will be right here. All of our n's are going to turn into 6's. There's only one of them that's right here. And last but not least, p is 2. So there's a 2 here, a 2 here, and I'll kind of squeeze the rest in. Should look something like that when it's all said and done. All right, order of operations time. So once again, we do have parentheses. We actually have 2 sets of parentheses this time. We have a parentheses here, a parentheses here. We can take care of both of those at the same time since they're happening separately. So 6 stays the same. 5 minus 2 is 3. This set of parentheses, we get 0, but we do need to write that 0 because something is still happening to that 0. It's getting squared. Also, I hung on to these parentheses because we have numbers in front of them, directly in front of them. Carrying on, we've done everything we can inside of parentheses. We do have an exponent right here. Let's take care of that. 0 squared means 0 times 0, which is 0. Next up would be multiplying and dividing. Remember, number next to parentheses means multiplying. 6 times 3 is 18. And then we have more multiplying here. 2 times 0 is 0. So then when we go to subtract for our last step, 18 minus 0 is 18. You could jump from here to here, that would be perfectly fine. You would be allowed to do both of those multipliings at the same time because they're separated out with a minus sign in between them. That's it for this lesson. Hopefully that was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a wonderful day.